Right there. Folks, can we grab our seats? Could we grab our seats?
Marlo Brown is here. You know Marlo? Councilor Marlo Brown.
Jim Montgomery, Commissioner DCR.
Commissioner Marlo. You know what Marlo means in Spanish? Bad. Bad Brown. That's what they call him. To see him get meetings started.
Love it. Yeah,
he gets on the stage, everybody just goes, shoot.
Big gavel.
Because he's Marlo.
Years ago, I was mayor of a city back in Illinois, and you know, you gavel, and everybody keeps talking gavel. So one of my guys got me this gavel. That thing had to have been this big, and I walked in one time, like, don't make me use it. He's like 7 feet. Yeah, you know, I'm 6'9", so you know, this gavel, you know. It got people's attention. That's what it was supposed to do. So, all right. Can we get started? Hello. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Jim Montgomery, the Commissioner of the Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation. I want to welcome everyone here this morning. Without further ado, let's jump into the program, and I'd like to introduce the Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Shelley Baker.
Thanks very much, Commissioner. Let me start by saying he is obviously a big man and a man of few words. That could be the shortest introduction I've had in the past 7 years. And normally, you know, when a commissioner of an agency has the governor or the lieutenant governor coming to visit, they usually give a big, long introduction. It's a little bit of a, what would be the word I would use? A little bit of a suck-up, usually. So I will take away from this that no need. This guy is so secure, he can just say, hey, Governor, come on up, use the mic, it's okay. And that's more than enough. Thank you. This is, I apologize for being a little goofy this morning, but for the Lieutenant Governor and me, this is a very special announcement, and I'll tell you why. When we were campaigning in 2014, we talked to a lot of folks in the summer of 2014 in cities and communities around Massachusetts who said, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on during the day, but there's nothing going on at night and on the off hours. And that's a problem, because that's really when, more than anything, we really need to have things for young people and families to do. And so we took office in January. The budget was already set, and we scraped together a few bucks at DCR. I think it was maybe $200,000 for 4 programs. Found local partners who we could partner with, who could bring some general knowledge about how to get to the right kids and the families and what sort of programs would make sense, and could leverage it a little bit with some of their own staff. And that was kind of our experiment into this space. And then, you know, 4 the next year became 10, and the next year after that it became 20. And this year's program is $1.5 million with 45 participating organizations in communities across the Commonwealth. And this is a really great example of a state, local, and then local community nonprofits, for the most part, collaboration to come up with fun things and interesting things for kids and for families to do during the summer, when it gets to be 90 degrees or plus or minus something, or 50 degrees, depending upon which day of the week it is. What's going on out here? And it's something the legislature has supported. It's a big part of what we think this summer in particular, given how rough the past year has been for so many kids and so many families. And we're very excited that I think 10 programs with 10 partners are going on here in the city of Springfield, and Representative Williams pointed out to me that 8 of them were in this district. Congratulations, Representative. But this is in many ways for us a program that started as a kernel of an idea a bunch of years ago. It's something that's been adopted by many of the communities and many of the local nonprofits and many of the families and kids in those communities. And we've branched it out into not just recreational programming, but also enrichment programming, education programming. And as I said, we've got help from the legislature on this, and it's the sort of thing that I hope continues to grow as we go forward, because finding places and spaces and opportunities for kids and families during the summer should be something that on the off hours we're thinking about how to work with our colleagues to come up with possibilities and programming for. So for us, something that started this big, that is now this big, we're really thrilled with how this is all played out. Tremendous help and support from the folks at DCR and from the commissioner and his team, and a lot of help as well from the secretary and her office. But mostly, it's a lot of the people who are sitting and standing here who really made this thing successful and turned it into something that we could get other folks in state government on Beacon Hill to endorse and support. So thank you all for being here. We look forward to continuing to grow this program as we go forward, and we hope it creates some really positive opportunities for kids and families here in Springfield this summer. Thank you very much.
Next, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito.
Keeping with tradition, because if you gave me a longer introduction, that would have been a disaster for you. So, good move there, Commissioner. You're a quick study. We're here in Springfield to highlight, obviously, a program that the governor and I and our entire team love. And we want to thank you in Springfield for also loving it so much and fully embracing it and spreading it far and wide here in your community. I just can't thank you enough and express on behalf of the kids you serve and their parents and families how important this is. I want to thank the mayor, because I know how much you love this program. And as soon as you heard about it, you said, forget Boston, got to bring it out here to Western Mass, and I'll be the first to take it on and lead the way for the communities out here to do the same. This is a lifesaver. It's a game changer. And as the governor said, coming out of a pandemic year, it's like people are starving for more programs and opportunities like this. So you deserve it. And most importantly, the kids deserve it. We know, yes, yeah. We know, and as a mother of two teenagers, if kids are not safe and they're bored, it's a big problem. So this solves that. And for you to be as creative as possible to break down every barrier to make sure these kids can get to you, to the location where you're serving them. In Boston, they're giving out free ferry rides to get them to the Boston Harbor Islands as part of their camp experience. And clearly here you're getting the kids to where they need to be. Now, I was out last night enjoying the nighttime. It's light out for a long time, so it's daylight to nighttime. But it's a long period of time for you to be able to offer the activities that they can have fun at, activities that are really important like swimming, and I'm going to emphasize free swimming lessons, and a call to action to get some older kids into the instructor program so they can teach kids how to swim, and to combine it while they're having fun with some meaningful experiences like the Leadership Academy, or developing entrepreneurial skills, or even including STEM education as part of their activity, hands-on learning experiences. Like, you have it all. And I just want to say thank you, taking these dollars, the municipalities putting some of their dollars into it as well, to really make this a great summer, and for other communities that are not in it to learn from your example and to make sure they do this next year. I want to compliment and congratulate our additional municipal partners, Brockton, Dorchester, Hyde Park, Jamaica Plain, Lawrence, Lowell, Mattapan, New Bedford, Roxbury, South End, and Worcester. They've been strong proponents of this program. You can see the list, and would love to see this spread all across our Commonwealth. Congratulations. Have a wonderful, safe, and happy summer. And I really appreciate it. Back to you.
I'm have to shorten these introductions. We have kickball, so. Next, I'd like to introduce the Secretary of the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs, Kathleen Theartes.
Well, it's always a good day when I'm in Western Mass. It's where I'm from. I will take any excuse to come out here, but this is a particularly good excuse. And I would echo the governor and the lieutenant governor's thanks to all of you for being our partners on this critical program. Since 2015, this program has partnered with local groups in cities and towns across the Commonwealth to provide free, safe, youth-based programs at numerous locations to thousands of children and young adults in all of these different locations. It has grown significantly, and as the Lieutenant Governor alluded to, it does all sorts of programming, everything from basketball and yoga to painting and gardening to leadership training and many other life skills. It's a very important program to us, something we look forward to every summer. Last year, we were so grateful for the partners who came up with creative ways to keep the program alive and well during the pandemic. We were able to serve 3,000 children still in a summer that was more challenging to create programming. I'm going to keep this short because we seem to have the games set up, but I just wanted to give a big thank you to the staff at DCR and to all of the partners here today who make this possible, and to our legislative colleagues and our mayor in this great city who have been so supportive of getting this program up and running. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, I would like to introduce Keyshawn Dodds, the Executive Director of the Boys and Girls Club Family Center of Springfield.
Good morning, everyone. Before I get started, Governor, I don't have pleated pants on today, so there we go. But can I have my Springfield partners come up with me? My Springfield partners, I know you guys are here, I need you guys behind me because this is important. Thank you. As we get situated, I want to just thank everyone for coming down 91 to Springfield. Governor Baker, Lieutenant Governor Kathleen Polito, Karen Polito, I'm sorry. All my elected officials from our city of Springfield, our Honorable Mayor, Dominic Sarno. I appreciate all the support that you give the Boys and Girls Club Family Center and also our city of Springfield. And everything that we do up here, we all have the same common goal, to make sure our kids are safe, to make sure our city is thriving. And I also want to thank Boston for not forgetting about Western Mass. Sometimes people think that we're a different state. And I know we are offended when we leave Springfield and go to other cities and states and they say, where are you from? We say, Springfield. No, you're from Boston. No, we're from Springfield. We're proud of our city. We are proud to represent the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and also our youth. We work tirelessly every single day. As you see in our partners here, this is not an anomaly. This is the norm for us that we want you all to see. That this isn't just a photo op. We work continuously together. I know I can, at a drop of a dime, I can call anyone behind me and they'll be here for me. That's the same thing that we do for our kids. It's not about the money that we have to raise. It's not about the people that we have to fight and argue with. It's about our kids. And this program from the Department of Conservation and Recreation is something very special. And I got to give a special shout out to Julie and also Hillary for all of the hard work that they do. The constant emails and support that we get from them keeps us updated on everything that we need to do from start to finish. And that's why we know we're going to be successful this year. I know in 2015 we started about 15 programs and have moved to 55 different organizations that are going to be helping. That is amazing. And 10 in the city of Springfield, and now we have our partners in Holyoke right down the street with us. And I know it's only going to get bigger and better every year. But coming out of a pandemic, this has been one of the times that I can say I honestly cried in front of my kids because I didn't know if I was going to see them again. Because everything was shut down globally. And we fought hard to make sure that we kept in touch with our kids. We kept in touch with everyone, the parents, the families, the providers. But not only that, we came together as a team because every community center and every organization said if one of us close, what happens? The city shuts down. So we fought hard and we stayed open. And when it was time to go to school, I got to give a great shout out to Governor Baker for giving us the money to make sure that we can do remote learning for our kids, to provide that space. And I know my guy, Wes Jackson, over here at the Southland Community Center, gave me a shirt one day and said, Executive Director is my title, but superhero should be the real title. Because we have to pivot every single day to make this work. But the way that I pivoted was from the help from two men that I got to give that shout out to, is LeVar Click and Chase Swan. LeVar works for the mayor. He was at the YMC in Greater Springfield at the Dunbar. And Che at the time was at the Southland Community Center. We partnered up and grabbed on with Ron Johnson at the MLK Family Services, Henry Thomas at the Urban League, Vinny Borello at the Carew Street Boys and Girls Club, the crew that's behind me, Brother Johnny. I can keep going on and on with the names, and I don't want to miss you, so if I didn't name you, it's not the absence of the heart, it's the absence of the mind. And I know I have my parent villages with me as well, so we are attacking the problem of our youth not being active from preschool all the way to young adulthood. We all know that there's active violence in our city. We all know that our kids need activities to keep safe. The last thing that I want to do, and we made a promise to ourselves when we started here, to make sure that we had no deaths in our city. We will not stop until all of our kids reach adulthood and see their kids and their kids' kids grow. That is the mission of every organization. It's definitely at the Boys and Girls Club Family Center. I can say it did it for me. Because not like the old commercial Hair Club for Men, I'm not only the president, but I'm also a client. At 7 years old, I was a kid that was dropped off at the Boys and Girls Club Family Center. My father passed away that year. My mother put me in the hands of the Boys and Girls Club Family Center, and the first man that I met was Tony Malone, who still works for me now. It's kind of funny. Put me in position to come full circle. And I still remember the executive director, Henry Dawson, that was with me, that would catch me running down the halls every day and make me sit in his office. And one day he told me that I need to slow down. But I didn't want to slow down. I always wanted to run, so he put me in every event in track and field and told me I had to run and win. And one day I sat in his office and I told him, you know what, I want your job. He pulled down his glasses and he said, be careful what you ask for. 30 years later, I understand what he meant. It's a labor of love. But as I move on, I want to say thank you to everyone here. I have my board members that are here. Sanja Shaw, who's my board vice president. They know the dedication that we have. My director of operations, Charles Branch, is behind me, getting the kids running active. It's a labor of love. We wake up and we're here at 7 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes we don't leave till 10 o'clock at night. I know that conversation, that LeVar can attest to it. When I first asked him, what are your hours? The look that he gave me probably could have smacked me from here to Boston. Your hours are your hours because the kids need you. So with this grant that we have with the Department of Conservation and Recreation, the Boys and Girls Club Family Center is open until 10 o'clock at night, Monday through Friday. All of our organizations, our members, our kids, our teens, we created a universal membership. So our kids are members of the Southland Community Center, the Boys and Girls Club Family Center, Carew Street, MLK Family Services, the Urban League. They're not just our kids, it's our city's kids. So we have a universal membership. So if you can't go to your club, you can come to us. That's how we save our youth. So I want to say thank you to my elected officials, Bud Williams, Marcus Williams. I got Tony Moore from Senator, Adam Gomez, Senator State Rep Carlos Gonzalez, I know, and Eric Lesser. You keep telling me to call you Eric and not Senator. But it means a lot to me that you guys are really here today to not only see our kids, but just to see what Springfield's about. Every city has their problems, but what you see right now is the light of those problems. We make sure that no problems get too big. We work closely with our mayor, with our police department, our elected officials, to make sure that we do the right thing every single day. Now, we're not perfect, but with your help, we can be great. So thank you, and have a great day. Before I leave, I'm sorry. I did forget about Malo Brown, my ward city councilor. I will never do that again because that's 2 for 2 right now. So I might have my tires going off of my car and I won't be mad, but thank you.
You got to make sure those potholes are filled. So. Oh, thank you very much. As the governor said earlier, our host legislator today is Representative Bud Williams. I'd like to have him come up next.
Welcome to the 11th Hamden District. That deserves something. Welcome. Yeah, come on. And Keyshawn, thank you for the amazing work you do and all the partners. And I want to thank my posse, Senator Eric and Carlos Gonzalez, because we fight hard for this district. That district, we connect the North End and the Hill. We fight very hard. And I want to commend the governor because half of this, a lot of this wouldn't be taking place. It's been on the shoulders of Black and Latino caucus. That this man, governor, we meet this is 60 days, 30 days. It was 30 days. Religiously, we're on a schedule. And we go in and we talk business. We talk about the underserved and the gateway cities and what that has meant. As I met with the governor in Boston on yesterday, I give my report card on the governor. So he gets all A pluses this semester. All A pluses. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you why in about 3 minutes. I know what he has done for this district, the 11th Hamden District, and the north end of Springfield, two of the most neediest communities in the Commonwealth. First of all, Bergen Circle last week, $20 million. Polito Baker administration. We've done the motorcycle building. We're going to do the Knox building. Family Center, Sam Boland Park, beautiful park. Take a ride as you go out. Take a look at that park. And hey, we're getting 2 new schools, Homer and DeBerry. This is the Polito and Baker administration. And as I talked with the governor on yesterday, really, I know he's torn with this pandemic. And I said, hey, you've done a great job. Monday morning quarterbacking is real easy. But I know what he wants to talk about. He didn't. I'm going to talk about it. DCR, this is great. We fought hard. Tony Richardson, thank you and for what you've done in organizing this. Hey, the governor, we have $5.3 billion coming from Washington. Now, the Senate, the House, and the governor are debating on how that should be spent. This man is coming with a plan, and he kind of like gets it. And I'll go back to the root of things. It's called home ownership, which this country was redlined in the 30s and 40s and 50s by the federal government. The federal government redlined this country, and those lines still exist. If you're going to get wealth, there's a couple of entry points for wealth. Stocks and bonds, and the other point is real estate and home ownership. If you don't own, you're not going to create wealth. When in Boston, the average wealth was $247,000 for Greater Boston. And people of color was $8. I said that on the radio program. People, Bishop, they called me and said, what do you mean, $8? And if you go nationally, it's 190,000 wealthy people. People of color, 24,000. That's not right. And with all this money, I want to thank the Biden administration for doing something that should have been done over the past 20 years. It's going to take money to repair this. It's almost reparations. We need it. The community centers need it. So let's get behind this man, home ownership. We got to create wealth. If we create wealth, we can solve some of our own problems with the money to repair our communities. The pandemic, your loan program that sent money to black and brown businesses, direct money to folks, and supporting the Black COVID Coalition and Spring of Hope Church with your initiatives for the COVID relief situation. This is real. $5.3 billion, ladies and gentlemen. And that money, in your mayor here, you got to advocate to the mayor. We want that money to go into this community. I've asked for $1 billion with the Black Latino Caucus. My partner Gonzalez said we're going to get $4 billion. Governor Carlos wanted $4 billion. And I presented that to the governor. Carlos just added $3 billion. I asked for one. Really, I asked the governor. He said, I'll support it. We're going to get money into this community. We're going to fight hard because we have to build wealth at the end of the day to eliminate poverty. But we can't do it unless we invest in people. Home ownership. Last point. You know, the city has a program, state has a program. They give you like $3,000 or $4,000 first-time home ownership program. The governor has proposed $50,000 to $60,000 for people with first-time. This is real. It's a game changer. I mean, you know, people don't tend to get excited in black and brown communities about money. We just don't. I think we think it's some kind of taboo to kind of ask and request. But that, Carlos and myself, it's all we do. And let me tell you one last point. The Pulido-Baker administration, especially that governor, meets with black and brown people every single month. And what we request from him, we've never been turned down. So I want to thank you again for what you do, Governor, and you know I mean it. So with that being said, City Councilor and State Rep Orlando Ramos, welcome. Thank you. So I'm going to be quiet, but the DCR, great program. We worked hard. And not only that, I didn't even talk about the jobs that come with this. $20 an hour. We get jobs. This is a game changer. And the state park is right over, Blunt Park, right over there. So, Keyshawn, thank you and all your amazing partners for you folks have done. We need it. We're going to get more. We're going to do more. We can do better in this Commonwealth. But what it's going to take? It's going to take us pushing the envelope. Every group in the state is going after the money. And typically, black and brown people are always on the low end of the totem pole. We're not going to be in the low end of the totem pole this time. We're going to be at the top of the totem pole. We're going to get our fair share. Gonzalez and myself had said $4 billion. And let me tell you, if we have to stand on the steps of Beacon Hill to get what we rightfully deserve, Biden has finally got it. He understands this is 30 years of money that we've been shortchanged. We're not going to be shortchanged anymore. So welcome, Governor. Thank you for your work. Lieutenant Governor, Commissioner, thank you. But Keyshawn, all the vendors, thank you, and God bless.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce Mayor Dominic Sarno.
Buddy, I thought you were going to pass the basket, I'll tell you that. You were preaching there. And you're preaching to the choir. To Governor Baker, Lieutenant Governor Pulido, Secretary Theohides, Commissioner Montgomery, thank you. Anytime that we needed anything here in the city of Springfield between Governor Baker, Lieutenant Governor Pulido, my delegation, our state delegation, they have come through day in and day out. Keyshawn, thank you very much for hosting us. And thank you for your strong, empowering, and emotional words. I know where you come from. From my old days of running the old South End Community Center, as I told the governor and lieutenant governor, when this program started, it was $200,000. Now it's about $1.5 million or more. This is a lifeline for our young people and our families. This is a game changer because you might have a young person, no matter what creed, color, or background. Are they going to step this way or are they going to step that way? And I still hear, and all the community center people that are here, you know it. when you run into that young man or young lady, or you run into that family member down the road and say, hey, Latonia, hey, Coach Jackson, now Executive Director Jackson, because of your efforts, my kid went the right way. Went the right way. You can't put a price tag on that. And the investment that Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito and his lieutenants have made is key. The more money we can put in at the front end, the better and stronger and positive opportunities will come at the tail end. So it's a combination. And you know what? A lot of times, where's Coach Jackson? Where's Wes? Coach, where are you? Okay. Coach was my coach at the old South End Community Center. And sometimes, and now he's executive director. And about mentoring, Chase Swan, who works for me now, was my deputy. He was executive director. But sometimes for our kids, as you see out there, you got to give them a little bit of a hook, right? They want to have fun. I don't blame them. They want to have fun. So we make a deal. You want to have fun? You want to be in the computer room? You want to play on our travel team, our hoop team? You got to do okay on the grades, am I right? Coach Jackson used to go to every school to make sure that the kids were up to par on and off the court or on and off the field. So this money that Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito and DCR are putting forth is going to multiply. Multiply. So besides kids having fun, families having a peace of mind, job creation, a lot of our younger people, opportunities, rec leaders, hopefully lifeguards. We need more and more lifeguards. And this starts that mentoring process. This starts that partnership process. This enhances the trust process, which makes for a better Commonwealth, makes for a better Springfield. But to each and every one of the frontline providers, I thank you for what you do. I sat and stood exactly where you were many years ago. And you can't put a price tag. None of you are making $1 million. But what you do translates into $1 million for that young person, no matter what creed, color, or background, that family. And to be able to expand and provide more hours, Keyshawn, you hit it right in the head. South End Community, we used to stay open until 9, 10 o'clock. We took anybody. Now, we didn't have a Taj Mahal, but I said if you kept it safe, clean, and respectful, we dealt with it. Now you do have a Taj Mahal. I'm glad on West we were able to build that for you. But because of the efforts of Governor Baker, Lieutenant Governor Polito, now you're going to be able to do even more. And that is just going to be so promising as we continue to move our city of Springfield forward. So to all the providers, thank you. To my local delegation, thank you. To Governor Baker, Lieutenant Governor Polito. I got to end with this. You know, a buddy preaches, this is near and dear to my heart. This is where I cut my teeth, and with DA Bill Bennett, turning around those borderline kids on it. So, to me, Governor and Lieutenant Governor Polito, I'm going to echo what Representative Buddy Williams says. Puts his money where his mouth is. Both respectful gentleman, respectful young lady, listens, and if they can help, they're there. And we need to remember that and never forget that. God bless the city of Springfield. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Representative Carlos Gonzalez.
Are you going to allow all our legislators to speak? We got full session going. We're ready to go to Boston, but buenos dias, good morning. That's what I like to hear. Carlos and Charlie. You all heard about the restaurants in Mexico, right? Carlos and Charlie restaurants. It's a tag team. But to Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito, thank you very much. And Secretary, thank you. Meeting you. I said, oh, I heard my staff told me, oh, she came from Washington, D.C. And the first thing she told me, oh, I'm from this area. Bingo. All right. That's why she's coming back. That's what we got to do more often. But this is great. I'm not going to, belabor the point. Rep. Williams, my partnership with you is long-standing. But again, we're going to continue to ask, demand, support, and enhance our communities, particularly the communities of color. And I just want to make a shout-out to Tony Richards and also Jose Delgado in your office here in Western Massachusetts. because without them. And our partners, Betty Medina, Lichtenstein, over there in Holyoke. I see her. She was going to retire, but we brought her back. Thank you. Just a couple of shout-outs. And to all the partners, muchas gracias. Thank you. Because, again, it starts at, education starts at home, but also at the family centers, like Mr. Dodd said. Thank you very much. And I'm calling you Mr. Dodds. So thank you very much. And, Commissioner, what a great MC. We're going to have you from here on then. So thank you on behalf of my colleagues in government. We're going to continue to fight, and it's not 1 billion, it's 4 billion. COVID impacted communities of color more so than anyone, and the Biden administration said this money is going to go where it has severely impacted, and that's why we need 4 billion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative. Senator Eric Lesser.
Well, thank you. I think we've everything has been said, but not everybody has said it. But I really just want to say thank you to the providers. I mean, I see Ron Johnson, Henry Thomas, Wesley, Kishan. You know, I want to thank DCR. I want to thank the Baker-Polito administration. But quite frankly, this was a hard year, and it was hardest on the people behind us, the kids behind us, and the teachers. And you guys, you are our motivation. I mean, the calls we would do, what you were facing, the unknowns, and here we are. Things are better. Money's coming, which is always good. But I really just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to the providers. I want to say thank you to the families that stepped up when the community needed it the most. So thank you. Congratulations. It's hot, so.
Thanks, sir. Representative Orlando Ramos.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. I just wanted to give a huge thank you to the governor and his administration for the continued investment in our city and in our youth. I want to congratulate my brother for another victory in his district. Two things I know about my brother, Buddy Williams. One, he is the best at photo ops. And two, no one advocates more for marginalized communities than Buddy Williams. And so congratulations to you on another victory. And just very quickly, before we leave here, I don't know if you heard, but there's going to be a race between Buddy and the governor. I got $4 billion on Buddy. Thank you.
Oh, Lord. Thank you. Thank you. I want to just say thank you to everyone for being here today. This is a terrific program, one of the program that we are just incredibly proud of at the Department of Conservation and Recreation, and it doesn't happen on its own. There's so many people here today. Clearly, the governor, lieutenant governor have made this a priority from day one. The secretary and I have done what we can, but it's our staff, it's the partners that we have in all the communities throughout the Commonwealth. So I want to say thank you. With that, I believe the governor is going to take some questions. Okay. And then afterward, if we can get all the partners up for some pictures.
So questions for anybody who spoke.
He hasn't made his mind up about running for governor yet. I asked him that yesterday.
Yes, buddy. You are too funny, bud. That is something the lieutenant governor and I have been talking about with our families, and we'll certainly make a decision about that soon. Yeah. Yep. I've always said about running for office, and I say this on behalf of all the people who are sitting in this front row here, running for office is a personal decision, and I'm a big believer in participative democracy, and if folks decide that they have something to say and they want to have a vehicle through which they can say it by getting in and running, more power to them. And I've always said that, and in some respects, I've been involved in races that involve lots of people, and I've been involved in races that didn't involve a lot of people. And anybody who thinks they understand the dynamics of a particular political campaign this far out Well, their crystal ball is a lot better than mine, and what they really need to hope is that everybody forgets whatever it was they said now, because it probably won't be true on Election Day. Yeah. Well, I think the good news on this initiative, first of all, is you got a bunch of members of the legislature here. And if we held this event somewhere else, we would have had a bunch of folks in the legislature there as well. This was originally, kind of I wouldn't call it it was like a demonstration. We'd only been in office for 4 or 5 months. Summer was coming. We'd heard this pitch that there isn't enough for kids to do that's off hours, especially nights and weekends, and we should try it and see if it works. And here we are, 7 years later, in a program that had 4 programs and $215,000 is now $1.5 million and has 44, and it's now spread all over the Commonwealth and has partners, municipal partners, private nonprofit partners across the Commonwealth. And it's pretty clear that this is one of those initiatives that people believe in. So I would hope that whoever sits in any of these chairs would see the benefit, because this is now proven. And, our view is every year to, frankly, one of our favorite expressions is, if you find stuff that works, you should do more of it, like home ownership, which I think we should do a lot more of. By the way, the other point I want to make about the home ownership issue, one of the ways you create stability in communities is through home ownership. All right? I am deeply concerned, and it's one of the reasons why we filed that legislation right away. I am deeply concerned about what's happening to housing prices everywhere in the Commonwealth of Mass. And one of the ways you make it possible for people, especially those who haven't been able to participate in a lot of those federal programs for the better part of the past 50 years, one of the ways you make it possible for them to have some control over their own destiny is to make it possible for them to own the home, the apartment they live in. And so they don't get shushed away because a neighborhood, quote unquote, is in transition. And honestly, if there was ever a point in time where it made sense to do something that should have been done a long time ago, Massachusetts has one of the biggest disparities between white and people of color in home ownership in the United States. Now, we claim to be a progressive Commonwealth, and I believe on a lot of issues we are, right? But we have a great opportunity here, and we should not blow it on this one. We should put a ton of money into home ownership and into affordable housing, and take advantage of the legislation that you all passed that makes it possible for communities to do a lot more than they could do before, which is something we've been working on for 3 or 4 years, and really go hard at that one. Yeah. Say again? I didn't hear the first part of the question. What does it mean for you to be here, stop at the family center? Yeah. Well, the best part about this, and we've done, the Lieutenant Governor and I have done this event every year, and it's gotten bigger and bigger, obviously, as more and more communities have participated. But I think the thing that means the most to us is the commentary and the feedback we get from folks like Keyshawn and others who run and manage a lot of these programs, and the families that participate in them who say, this thing was really important to us. It was really important to our neighborhood. It was really important to our community. And our kids loved it. And I visited a bunch of these. I mean, that looks like a lot of work. Can we do something else, Bud, other than that? But one of the best parts about this, when you go out and visit some of these programs, is you can just see how much it lights up kids and how much they enjoy the opportunities that are afforded by it. And I think for us, we do a lot of that stuff as it is. But the key to this was getting, nights, off hours, weekends, expanding capacity to serve, and create jobs along the way, but more importantly, create safe places and spaces for kids. And I do want to give a shout out to the folks in local law enforcement and to the Mass State Police who are very involved in making sure that happens as well. So I think there's a lot of benefit to this, and the biggest the biggest bang about it for, I think, our administration is we didn't know if this was going to be something that would catch on or not when we first proposed doing this 5, 6, 7 years ago. And we've had this great opportunity to watch this flower bloom over the course of the past 7 years. And I really do believe, no matter who's sitting in these chairs, this thing is going to keep getting bigger because it works.
Last question. So being a previous educator, I know that kids need consistency, so it's amazing that we have summer nights, but do you see the program running year-round and not just the summer?
Perhaps. It would depend to some extent on what kinds of thoughts and ideas people had about what could be done there. I mean, the reason we did this originally was we had some folks who said we have some things we'd like to do on off hours during the summer. Kids are a lot more scheduled, obviously, in hopefully during a school year that looks a little more like a traditional one next year than the last year looked like. But that's certainly we'd be happy to talk about. And as I said to the mayor, you know, between the federal money that's going to the cities and the federal money in towns and the city and the federal money that's coming to us, there's a lot of things we could probably do jointly too to expand and blow up those programs. Because the other thing I would point out is we only proposed to spend about 2.8 of the 5.3, and basically about $1.5 billion, I think, of what we proposed would have ended up in those communities that were hardest hit by the pandemic. So there's plenty of room there to get to your $4 billion number, Representative. I just want to say again, this has been, this program doesn't work without the help of all of you, and a bunch of folks have said that, but we know that the success of it, the fact that people year after year, through word of mouth and practical experience, have said, I want to be part of this, that has come about because of the work of many of the folks who stepped up and stepped in early on, and we really appreciate the partnerships on this, and we especially appreciate the partnership with our friends in local government like the mayor and our colleagues in the legislature, because it doesn't happen without you either. So thank you.
Thank you, everybody. If we could get the partners all up here for some pictures. Thank you. Okay.